taking place at this part of the world, sponsored by Alfie Cox, KTM Adventure Sport.
Gary, it's your responsibility to...
Riders briefing, always important to follow the instructions. We don't want to get lost in the forest. Let's catch up with Alfie, the sponsor of today's event.
We just, you know, we have to put something back into it, and you know, being the dealer in KTM in Natal, I just believe that we got to put something back into it, and what a way to sponsor you guys to come and do the television coverage, especially in a Natal event. I don't think it's an advantage to be a Natal rider. The last time I rode here, I think it was about 10 years ago. It was raining. It was, I think, virtually 6 guys finished. So no, but look, the Natal guys definitely might do something here, because they did have a race here last year or the year before.
Down at the start line, first riders away will be Richard Johnson on a KTM 200 and Malcolm McManus. Time trial section comes up a bit later on. First of all, they just find their way through the bush. Gary Abos and Martin Hendrickson get away on bikes number 328 and 393. Next up, it'll be Richard Manning, followed by Brian Capper, who's making his foray into Enduro racing this year on a big 4-stroke KTM. There goes Kappa on 631, and next to him will be Vainan Klaassen. First part of the Enduro, they find their way around the course. Time, not really the issue. It'll be later on in the day that they have to race. Through goes Jeffrey Voliter, and next to him will be Clayton Enslin, the 250cc champion from last year. Starting right behind him is number 8, Gerald Bass, and he's riding a 200cc KTM. Quinton Milton gets away on bike number 35, that's a KTM as well, and next to him is Bernard Johnson on that 125cc Yamaha. I'm not sure if that's the right machine for today's event. Daryl Curtis and Alfie Cox, the 2 protagonists, get away on the Yamaha and KTM respectively. Rian van Niekerk, recovering from injury, gets away on number 17, and Barry Creel, who's moved up to the 250 class this year, he's been showing the boys the way home in off-road racing. Garth Curry finds himself at the bottom of the first Widowmaker. You may ask why we call this a Widowmaker. Well, I'll let you decide for yourself. The problem is, when you're stuck halfway up the mountainside, it's not easy to get going again. And this is Victor Tamson coming along with his KTM. Well, bad start for him as he got a bit sideways there. On the power, tries to make it to the top. Will he get up there? Oh, somehow I think he's lost the plot, and over we go. This Widowmaker is going to claim quite a few scalps today, I think. Second time around for Garth Curry now from 385. Keep going, Garth, keep the power down. That's the way to do it. Victor Tamson tries again. This is going to be difficult today. WFO Enduros are renowned for this. Richard Johnson comes through on 89. Once you put those feet down, well, that's the end of the story. Clint Seabright, is he going to run the cameraman over? No, he's going to go down the other side of the mountain. And that's Richard Johnson finally getting to the top of that hillside. Widowmaker, that's what they call it. Now here's somebody who knows his way around this part of the world. Richard Manning, who works for Alfie Cox down at that Adventure Sports Centre. Sometimes he helps lay out the course. He's an expert in the mountains. Slippery, steep, adverse camber, but he's got it taped. Wayne Holdat on the 4-stroke KTM. Easy to laugh. And this is where an electric start comes in real handy. Clint Seabright. Whoa, he nearly takes out Andrew Mulligan, our cameraman, and down he goes yet again.
Made it. Bad luck, bud.
I'd say that's bad luck. Back fender is broken.
Those guys have got speakers, eh?
Back down to the bottom of the mountain. Martin Hendrickson comes along, and that looks like a Husqvarna that he's riding there. Up and down, the WFO Enduros are all on the side of the mountains. Hendrickson's got a problem. He's got stuck on the side of the second Widowmaker. Adverse camber, that's the problem with this one. Easy does it up those forest brakes, fire brakes they call them. And that's Jose Rodriguez, paddling his way up the side on a 4-stroke, but he's going to run into another bike. Duncan McLean, can he get up there with that 200cc? In fact, it looks like a 380. He's got a big exhaust pipe on that bike. Notice the jeans. I think he's a bit of a social rider. Martin Hendrickson goes back down to the bottom for a second attempt. Todd Coetzee with a 250cc 4-stroke Yamaha. Hendrickson has another go. And Brian Capper, he takes the high line, the trials expert. He's been used to riding in the mountains. He's grown up like a mountain goat. 393 is having major problems. Martin Hendrickson cannot get up the side of that mountain. And that's Sean Doveton going through the forest area. And now they're going to the racing section. Rian van Niekerk. Now he'll put the power down into that forest. This is Glenn Evans. I'll bet he's saying, hell, damn it, under that crash helmet. Take a look at that climb. You can see how steep it is now. Glenn Evans has another go. Really tough. It's easy to sit here and laugh, but these riders, I have to take my hat off to them. That's Kingsley Durden climbing up the side of the mountain. Well done to him. Glenn Evans again. Oh, shucks, that's what he's saying. It's so difficult to climb these mountains. Right, another attempt now from Grant McCann on a 4-stroke KTM. No, that's a 2-stroke KTM.
Hi guys!
Hi Glenn. At least he hasn't lost his sense of humor.
You can only laugh.
In a moment he might lose his motorcycle though. Alan Neve goes through, paddling, keeps those feet up, but he makes it to the top. Well done, Alan. Glenn Evans again. That's a look of determination on that face. Shucks. Really saying a bit more than that this time around. Don Thompson, he's got a bit more speed. Will he make it? No, no, he can't get past Glenn either. Mayhem, it's absolute mayhem here at Widowmaker 1. Kevin Hoffman, a bit more speed this time, but he gets it sideways. That slowed him down. He's down to second gear, first gear. Is he going to make it? Glenn's in his way, and he falls as well. Denzel Tolage. Well done, Denzel. Glenn Evans, boy, he is swearing now. This is Dave Alexander. That was Dave Alexander. And this is Chris Farley. He looks like that pig farmer from Idaho and on any Sunday. Kevin Hoffman. This is about the 4th attempt for Kev. Try and ye shall succeed. Lawrence Mahoney, one of the top contenders today on a 125. Listen to this thing scream. Mike Platt, well-experienced rider, been around forever. Alex Vowles on the pipe. Well done, Alex. Spencer Creel, what he's on Yamaha this year and loving it. Rich Nickel, or was that number 46, Valentino Rossi that just crashed out. Jeffrey Wallater, look at the style of Jeffrey. When he grows up in this area, he knows this place like the back of his hand. Clayton Enslin, also recovering from some injuries, but he keeps the plot moving. Well done to Clayton for getting up there. And then Alfie Cox, home territory for him. And right behind him, Vainan Kleinhans. He is flying along through this racing section. Brett Proudy on 270. He's also going well. Barry Creel, boy, is he caught up to Alfie Cox or what? Quentin Milton, who's part of the Millimore racing team. Keep it open, Quentin. Good choice to have a 200 here at this part of the world. Look at Rian van Niekerk going through all of those stuck motorcycles on bike number 17. He goes flying, Paul Lachendar. And that Gerald Bass looks like he's had a big crash somewhere along the line. Now, number plate all askew. And Barry Creel into that forest section, past those marshals, checking out the lap times now into that racing section. This is what Enduros is all about. Controlled sections and racing sections. And And Sean Kirk comes along on bike number 668, DRZ 400 Suzuki. This is the racing section, by the way. Well, he made a complete hash of that. It's funny how the camera catches these riders up. Well, not to be caught out by the camera, 763. This is the easy way out, guys. Somehow that embankment looks a lot steeper than the camera tells us. Brian Montekoning. Hey, out of my way. Brian's loving that 250cc four-stroke Yamaha, though. Daryl Curtis, can't miss his style as he goes through that forest area. Got to watch out for those tree stumps. Right behind him, Alfie Cox on the big Katoom. Wow, and past Alfie Cox, Barry Creel has made up an enormous amount of time. Ronald McClellan, he's got it taped as well. Further down the mountain, the boys are battling, and that's Colin Stoffels on the gas. Lionel Dean goes through. He's about 17 years old, showing these old guys how to do it. Quinton Milton goes through that 200cc KTM. And behind him, Clayton Enston, taking things a little easier today. Rian van Niekerk says hello to the cameraman. And that's Sean Dupton. Oh, he almost hits that tree. That would have been disaster. George Ibos, or was that Abos? He's stuck down there in the forest amongst a whole bunch of other riders. Mayhem in the forest. The problem is the trees keep the water on the ground and it is ever so slippery. Brett Prouty goes through the control section, followed by Gavin Fell.
I'm from Joburg and I'm suffering here in Natal. This is hard work. Yeah, they call it WFOs. I don't know what that means, but I reckon it's just to fuck off. I'll tell you what, hard work. Well, let me keep on going. Yeah.
That's Eric Alcaraz from Johannesburg.
Yeah, look, it's I think it's a 40k loop. They've taken off 20 minutes off the time, so we're under pressure now. But, you know, unfortunately in National Enduro we don't know who's coming where, because it's like a rally where the times get calculated in the day, put into the computer, so we're waiting for some results still, you know. But, you know, I think probably Barry, Rion, myself, Daryl, out of those top guys, I'm almost sure the race is going to be for the top 4 guys. But, you know, who's going to win, we're not too sure until the times come out.
Daryl, what's happening? Lati, I'm going to dawn you. We're going to go flat out the last section. Like Alfie says, they've taken 20 minutes off. It's going to be fun. I think it's going to be interesting to see who actually can zero the last stage. It's going to be very tight. And like, you know, the top 4 guys, there's nothing in it really. I think we're going to be seconds apart at the end of the day.
Oh, it's going right. I had quite a big crash in the one test, so not so good that test, but otherwise I've got it together now. I'm riding smoothly and I'm having fun.
Yeah. What's it? Oh, you can see what I look like.
Rian van Niekerk absolutely covered in mud. The final lap now. Alfie Cox is underway. They've cut the time by 20 minutes, so they will incur penalty points if they go over that 20-minute period. And that is Daryl Curtis, hard on the power. Barry Creel, he also starts his final lap. So all the top dogs are out there now to do that final lap. This is Gerald Bass, and he's fallen in this mud section. Deep, deep mud. Did I mention mud? Problem now is the handle grips are full of mud, the gloves are full of mud. This is making life really difficult. Barry Creel arrives on the scene. How will he handle this lot? That's the way to ride the mud. Stand up on the pegs, lean back, and put the power to the ground. Daryl Bass gets away just behind him. He's lost a bit of time there. Spencer Creel. And he finds the only boulder in that whole mud pond. And that's Jeffrey Wallater on bike number 3. That's a 200cc KTM. Daryl Curtis, all open style on the Yamaha from Shimwells. Alfie Cox on the big KTM. He shows us how to ride the mud. As does Rian van Niekerk. Spectacular. And this is Brian Kappa into the final motocross section, absolutely flying along. Spencer Creel comes through on the Yamaha. A lot of support for Spencer. Alfie Cox gets the KTM sideways. Time is of the essence now. who is going to win this event. Just minutes from the final part of today's WFO Enduro in KwaZulu-Natal. Jeffrey Wallater flies along on that 200cc KTM. Probably the right bike for today's conditions. Barry Creel, he has made up enormous time. Just looking down at the computer, I think Creel will be the final winner for today's event. And that's Daryl Curtis. Wow, sideways for him. Standing up as usual on the pegs. Right, we've got the computer results in front of us. Open class and overall winner Barry Creel from Alfie Cox and Daryl Curtis. Rian van Niekerk there on 17. Whoa, and he falls over, but he does win the 200cc class from Jeffrey Wallater and Quinton Milton. Well done to Rian. Veterans, Ronald McClellan, the winner there from Denzel Tolage and Noel McCulloch. On the Clubman's class, the winner Wayne Howard. Well done. And Dave Alexander second, James Collins in third place. A great event, well organized, and well done to this man, Barry Creel, the overall winner and winner in his class. Ooh, these WFO Enduros look fairly tough, but next time maybe we should all go down there and join in the fun.